in the mid area, so they allowed to get that smoke kill. But you found always want to fly, not the best target, but it's a kill. I wouldn't say it's the best smoke, since they really were looking for a more bigger target at this case, but gotta take what you get.
Yes, and at this point in time, I'm trying to look exactly like normally at this point in time you try to secure yourself a Roshan, but they don't really have the tools for that. So instead it's just more kills, more pressure, and keep FlyToMoon busy while they try to push out these side lanes. We're doing a pretty good job of it, but you can see a little bit of pressure at it and things immediately go south. Aloha Dance caught on the top lane.
Oh, the Fusel Blade, the slows there. Won't survive this one. Meanwhile, another fight breaking loose. No Tail gets his ulti on. He's got backup coming. Thompson coming in. The toss. Another toss. And he will die because of it. The Grimstroke ulti allowing the double toss to land onto General, so he takes double the damage and he will fall. Thompson, Blink Dagger ready, goes for the avalanche, goes the toss, and now we have the Oracle in trouble. He will go down as well. Conka pops his BKB though. He pulls back Thompson with the X mark, and he's trying to run away behind his tier 4 towers, and he will be fine. Sumail still holding onto his Chronosphere. No need to use it here. 3 heroes down from FlyToMoon.
Oh, Iceberg, we've seen that location before. You can't fight there. OG are coming. And you can't see them coming. That's... oof. That's a rough lesson.
One thing that FTM can't allow to do here is let fear take over.
Oh yeah, but there's fear and caution, my friend. There's fear and caution.
There's fear and caution, that's true.
This area here, you know what Moxie and I used to call it? That's Mordor, because you don't just walk up into there.
Now we've got both teams playing on both sides of the dire map. We've got the top jungle for FTM, the bottom side jungle for OG. Slowly encroaching towards that bottom tier 1 tower.
Yes,
be able to take it down.
So little space for FTM to farm up. It's basically the only hero they have right now that's getting any farm is V-Tune, and they're waiting for that They don't want to take any fights before that, but OG is not going to let them. Aloha Dance.
And the same thing again, Aloha Dance falls, and they will just throw in the Conka combo for it. Won't work out this time. Mid one looking for the lasso, but he doesn't get it off, and Sumail trying to land a Chronosphere, but there's not enough targets right now. He break just happened. That just happened, but they have to take this fight anyway. V-Tune in the middle of the battle. They throw the avalanche onto the ground as well, and they got Slark in his ultimate. No Tail is dropping really low, and he might just fall. He will. Now we've got the Pangolier in the middle of the fight as well, and he's just tanking hits. Sumail is also dropping really low. He does have his jump available. He will jump away. General, he's ulted by the Oracle. Not sure if he's going to survive and live through this. He's really low. I think he might just actually live through this, and Thompson will buy the time. Sox also throws in another stun to keep Iceberg and V-Tune in place. And on the run, trying to use the roots onto V-Tune, but they won't catch anyone. OG's out.
Beautiful disengage. As soon as that Corona whiffs, they know they gotta get out. But you can see them shifting in the team fight to make sure that the more disposable heroes take to the front lines. Sumail's already long gone by the time that Sax are still stunning 2 heroes of FlyToMoon in the jungle. They make sure the most important targets get out first, and then, you know, if Saxa doesn't get out there, well, that's okay. But instead, they get out with everyone. Very beautifully done.
The cavalry's arriving towards the bot lane, but General, once again, he's already out of there before things go grim. We've got more TPs coming in. Iceberg holding on to the bottom tower. General trying to quickly make his way back. It looks like the call has been given that let's fight bottom. I've got a DD rune. Let's go. Aloha Dance, however, sacked once again. Death number 7.
Unfortunate for him. He's really not making much headway towards that Aghanims at all. When that can mean so much for the team, helping them survive those Chronospheres, helping them to survive the Thompson burst. And once again, FlyToMoon is bunched up in this area where OG is also playing. They still want to take this engagement.
They have no vision about OG. They can only just rely on their instincts and their info that's given. That we see Soxa in mid one. OG, however, see their entire team pretty much, and they will find the General Pangolier. Pango in big trouble. He will go down. That's the opener for OG. They can take this fight now. Always want to fly. Trying to go for the run here. He does have an Ink-Swelled mid one right next to him, so he will end up getting stunned up on Iceberg, turning around with a stun. Sumail, 20 seconds for this Chronosphere. Doesn't have it up right now, but he will go for the fight. V2, the slug just trading hits. He doesn't get that many out, however, and he's still building up stacks. Mid one trying to get his way out. Does pop his BKB. Sumail in trouble. He doesn't get his jump off, and he will die. He does get leashed up. Now Thompson in trouble in the trees. General will find him. There's another fight breaking loose at the same time as Saksa will be hit by Iceberg and the Oracle. They will lose mid one. They will lose Thompson. They're going to lose Saksa as well. And there we have it. FlyToMoon are back in the game.
They are, and that's so unfortunate that OG get caught there without the Chronosphere. I'm not sure why they were positioned so far forward if they weren't quite ready to take the fight. And here you see why that Slark building all of these stat items, especially that status resist, is so important, because he actually gets to keep on building those stacks even with Thompson and Sumail both wailing on him. And as the engagement goes longer, V-Tune is going to be stronger. And OG lacked the burst damage, especially without the Chrono coming in.
Yeah, that's also something that I'm worried about here is OG were I think before that fight they were relying that they'll just get their ultimates during the team fight, and FlyToMoon has false information about Chrono's not up, they don't have it yet, oh they're not even using it, let's win this fight. They even lost their Pangolier at the start of the fight, but still FTM just pulled out stronger.
In general, right click damage does better in the longer fights just because you don't have any cooldown. You can keep on right clicking. Whereas most heroes on the side of OG are reliant on their spells to deal most of the damage. Thompson is not actually built properly into a right click build yet at all. He's got a blink, he's got phase, I think this is an E-Blade coming up. So he's definitely looking to burst. And that's going to be a strat from OG coming up now. They're adding a huge amount of burst damage to make sure that they get man advantage in these fights, instead of getting into these longer trades where V-Tune is going to inevitably come out on top.
Solar Crest soon ready for Pango. Is going to take another 1k to finish that item off. And that's going to be a huge buff here for the Slark. Also for the Kunkka if they want to use it, but I think it's just buffing up the Slark in these fights. Give him some extra movement speed during the fights. He's already running at maximum when he's out of combat. But during the fights, just being able to throw out hits, increased attack speed, increased armor. It's just such a really good item if they can just keep buffing up this Slark. As he's building himself to be tankier, he's got his teammates to help him out. Now, Iceberg and a casual E-Blade Thompson as well. He popped his BKB, will TP out, so they will force the 7-second BKB out, and OG goes straight for Roshan.
Yes. They know that it was most likely a base TP, so nobody is even close to contesting this Roshan. Everyone else, FlyToMoon was on bottom.
There's a DD in the river, however. This could, if they make it in time, OG actually they leave the Roshan. Because they find themselves a pick-off, and it's Aloha Dance once again. But he gets his ulti up. The E-Blade actually screws up their combo here, in a sense. I mean, he does have a lot more tankiness than before. It's not necessarily the problem of the E-Blade here, but Aloha Dance is just kiting them out. And FTM looking for an opening. Thompson is going ham. He wants to jump straight onto the Kunkka. He throws his combo out, and Sumail goes. He gets his Chrono. He's got two. He's got the Oracle. Always want to fly will fall down first. General coming into the backline. They take down No-Tail. Saksa trying to run away as well. Thompson and Sumail already disengaging from here. Mid one is in big trouble. He's got his BKB pumped up. He's just kiting them around the river. Thompson coming in around for another round. He takes down Iceberg. Now Sumail and Thompson looking for an answer here as General chases down mid one. V-Tune with the DD rune is going to run out in like 2 seconds, so he might not be able to use it here, but OG looking for another nice 2-man stun coming in, and Sumail jumping into the fight as well, but he won't get that avalanche back up from Thompson, and they blow up Aloha Dance, and they need to get these cores. V-Tune, he's popped his ultimate. Sumail is still being kept alive. He's been E-bladed by his teammate as well, so he won't be taken down by the right clicks, and now Slark in trouble. He's in the middle of everyone, and OG will blow him up, or will they? V-Tune, he's popping satanic, he's just regenerating out of everything. He's going in for Sumail again, and Sumail is just trying to get some distance. He manages to get the jump off just in time, and he will live. V-Tune is not able to get any kills here. General still keeping up the chase. No-Tail is trying to run away. Sox and Thompson right next to him. V-Tune with another jump in, another 2-man stun, and they've got them both held in place. General will go down. V-Tune in big trouble. He's trying to TP, but he gets rooted, so he will be cancelled. And V-Tune, he will go down, and he will not even kill No-Tail. That is a team wipe. OG wipe the floor.
That took 3 OG buybacks though, and for most of that fight, FlyToMoon was playing 2 versus 4.
Very, very costly here for OG with the buybacks, but they get the team wipe, and they're not able to even go to Roshan yet.
They don't have any of their cooldowns, and I imagine that they want to play way more careful now as well, with so many of their heroes having used their buybacks. At least they have some good vision still, so Sumail and Mid1 are going to go for it. Does FTM realize that OG are exactly the kind of guys who will just go for this anyway? I'm not sure.
32 minutes played, and now the first actual Roshan attempt is in because FTM, they're not able to contest this. So OG will pick up the first aegis of the game. Now it's up to them how they're going to use it. Are they going to start pushing the objectives, or will they buy more time for the next items to be built? Faceless Void, Satanic is only 1k away. Batrider Shiva is still very far away. Tiny going for an E-Blade Dagon build. Thompson bringing some memes already here in this first game. Why the hell not? I mean, it's all for content. It's all for the viewers.
If you don't think he's playing for the win here, though, you're absolutely mistaken. I was talking about that lack of damage and how they don't want these long engagements. Thompson is going in for the most amount of burst damage that your money can buy you.
Yeah, that works. Mid1 forced to use his BKB, a low hit dance. Won't be able to use it. We'll pop the BKB charge from Mid1 at least.
FlyToMoon are not done playing, so once again, trading pressure here. And they finally have their ward game in order again as well. Winning that fight there gave them some definite space to breathe. And as you said, Sumail's probably going to be waiting for that Satanic to finish off, so I'm pretty sure that OG is not going to be running at FlyToMoon just yet, and instead it's FlyToMoon that are doing the running. Look at them. Pichu is running up to the river.
Oh, Mid1 goes in. They get the save on a low dance from the Oracle ulti. Always want to fly will game quickly blown up, however. Now Thompson is surrounded by enemies. He does have Soxa. He's got Mid1 coming to back him up. He's just trying to kite them away. And now forcing the Slark to use his Dark Pact. He will be tossed away to Mid1. Thompson still living alive, and there comes the Chrono from Sumail. He's got perfect one. He's got Slark. He's got the Weaver. He needs to take down the Slark. He will. He will take down one of the biggest targets from FDM. He will also take down a low dance. The 2 years gone, and now Iceberg coming in for the initiation onto the back as well. No Tail is once again the target. He wants to kill. Throws the X mark. Does get saved with the E-Blade. Thompson once again saving his teammates. The Tidebringer will do 0 damage as well because of it, and they're just controlling him. Stunlock after stunlock after stunlock. And that's Iceberg down as well. And OG survive without casualties. Whoa.
It's a very... I get why they want to go for it, and I don't want to sound so disappointed, but I kind of am, because it's the perfect timing to go for a fight, right? You know that Sumail probably just wants to still farm up. You know that there is this opportunity waiting for you in the mid lane, but yeah, you go on Thompson. Thompson is not burstable, and then Sumail gets a Chrono on a Slark without too many stacks up at all. The Oracle is already dead, and at that point, OG can clean house. It's all about how you take those fights, because these teams are very evenly matched on the manpower. It's all about who gets the right positions, who picks the right targets, and FlyToMoon make a pretty big slip up there, and they're going to lose base towers for it.
25 seconds for the Kunkka to be up. He does have a buyback available. Slark up in 10 seconds. General's ulti was forced in the bottom lane as Mid1 was putting some pressure, and instantly as he saw him use it and disengaged, he just TP'd back to the mid lane. He has his lasso, he has everything. Thompson goes in for the fight. Always want to fly. He just gets saved by a low head dance, who now finally has the axe. He needs to maybe even use it a second time here, but Slark is actually fine. OG disengaged. They smoke up and maybe even fake back. Are they going to stay around? Still running around the trees here. Gonna wait for someone to exit base. Maybe look for an opening here. Thompson. He played onto Slark. Bit of harassment. Throws in the Dagon. Not enough to kill V-Tune.
He's just really trying to maximize the amount of contact that he has with the enemy. Like, anytime he has spells off cooldown and he's not farming with them, he just wants to be using it, hitting enemy heroes with it. And it builds this mental pressure on FlyToMoon. There's wherever you go, there is going to be Thompson right up in your face, throwing spells at you. It's very hard not to get stressed out. And right now, they need to either consciously go for this backstab or yet TP back as Iceberg is doing right now, because their creep wave is coming into the tower. They're going to lose more base towers. Sumail still has the Aegis.
Conker just X-marking his way there to the lane and just constantly getting smacked by bashes by Sumail. Slowly chipping onto that tier 3.
Now. Like, Sumail's on your tower.
Yeah, they gotta respond somehow and maybe even try and find someone in the back lines, but they're so well spread out, and Thompson is guarding the bottom side, so No Tail is safe here. Sox are the same thing. Sumail is in the front. Won't go for the jump out. Disengage for now. There's the X mark. Mid one. Does he use his BKB or not? Thrown into the air with the Torrent. Still holding on to it. There comes the Lash. Sumail looking for a chrono. There are a lot of stacking up FTM players. He jumps in the backline. He only catches the Oracle, but he does have him at least. And that Oracle is gone. He does have a buyback. He's going to use it instantly to get back into the fight. General with the ultimate. They're holding Sumail. He does have an Aegis, so he will be fine. But at the same time, Iceberg is in really big trouble here in the middle of the OG lineup, and he will go down. He's fallen. He will have a buyback, but he needs to use it if he wants to come back into the fight, and he will. General and V2 trying to chase down Sox. The Sox will go down. Oh, mid one and No Tail on the run. Sumail as well, trying to disengage here. V2 gets the pounce. He pounces onto the faces void. Thompson meanwhile kills General at the same time. Sumail with another jump into the trees. Aloha Jan's trying to go for some scouting here, but No Tail will TP out. Sumail, oh, he doesn't get as lucky. He does have a Manta available, but it's not going to be enough here. Or is it? No.
No, not this time.
Not this time.
Not this time. This is fine by OG though, because that's an Iceberg buyback, and if one of those big cores buys back, especially Iceberg, who is this rock in the middle of the team fight. Oh, Thompson.
Poor Aloha Dance once again. Thompson says hi.
Yeah. And what I want to say though is Iceberg bought back. If he dies, you can kill any of his teammates. And
yeah, the only one with buyback is the Grim.
It's over. There's a big win condition on the table now, which is something that OG didn't have before. So, do you trade, you know, one death on Sumail for a win condition? Hell yeah, you do.
I also wonder who's going to take the initiative here. Thompson just blinks out. We're both trying to look for an opening here, but FTM, they're just sticking close to each other as they know that the next fight is going to be maybe the biggest fight of the game, and it might decide how this game is going to go. If they can get some kills, they can start closing up on OG's base and force buybacks. If they lose a fight, they either lose their base or it's just over.
Saxa is the only hero in the game with buyback right now.
Closing up on the 40-minute mark as well. Bounties will be up in 30 seconds. General keeping up the push. Thompson, finally, they're all going for General right now. There's the E-Blade. Dagon is going to get blown up by this combo. Oh, just barely gets a jump off, and mid one will come there. The Oracle save onto General, but General, is he going to go round? He's just going to sacrifice his life here. Not sure if he has enough healing on him.
Scouting.
Oh, just barely. Yeah. Considering that's a level 2 ulti as well, and you know, you can do a lot of healing during that time. Only just got a little bit extra. There's another DD rune. Seems like the most common rune of this game is the DD rune.
Does V2 get his hands on it though? Not this time.
Oh, if OG get it. Aloha Dance, he sees it. The info's given. And it's just going to quickly go on Aloha Dance. We've seen this before from time and time again.
Sumail's got the DD now. This is back off a clock for FTM. You are not going to fight that man.
No, this is going to definitely lead into some objectives. Roshan, minimum respawn timer, 20 seconds as well. The OD could definitely just go for the information on the Roche pit right after they finish off with this bot tier 2 tower, unless they want to keep on going. A DD is probably going to be up for about 10 seconds, maybe a bit more than that.
They'd love to hit some base towers with that.
They will. Oh, they found the Conqueror. They've got Iceberg. Iceberg, he cannot die here. He needs to get his BKB off as soon as possible. The Chronosphere in the back line, however. He's got Thompson as well, and it always would have fly. Will go down. There's no fighting on the Oracle, and Pango will get blown up. Thompson with the E-Blade, with the Dagon. They just evaporate these heroes, but it's 5 against 3. And it looking like FlyToMoon living their last moments here in this game 1, but they're still going to give it a fight. Another 2-man stun coming in from Sox as well. The Torrent to throw Sumail into the air, and Iceberg is the tip of the iceberg here. He is still taking damage. He's dropping low, still got 1200 HP, but Thompson says no, slaps the Dagon in the face, and FTM 3 heroes down. It might just be game here. They're going for the bottom racks. That means the tier 3 tower will fall and get those bottom racks as well. That means they only need to get top for megas or just go straight for the tier 4. But let's see what's going to happen. Still 40 seconds for the Oracle, 95 seconds for the Kunkka, half a minute as well for the Pango. They might just as well try this fight without the Kunkka up. Let's see OG. They're shifting towards the top lane. They want to secure the mega creeps at least. Last tier 3 tower falling. Going toward, they still have the glyph. They're actually going to glyph this tower. They know that this is the objective they want to fight at, unless they want to go up against megas. 10 seconds for the Oracle and the Pango to be up alive. They need to initiate soon. The melee racks are already getting wiped out. V-Tune walking in. He's going ham. He pops in Minotaur Horn as well, but he's getting lassoed up. He will get saved by the Weaver. Aloha Dance will save him from now. Now mid one. In the middle of everything. Thompson goes into the fight. He throws his E-Blade and his Dagon into the fight. They've got another route coming in. The General throws his ulti, but they're just dodging him. Thompson, he throws away V-Tune. And now Sumail, 1 more minute until he has a Chronosphere up, so it won't be in this fight. Now they're just going straight onto Sumail. And Slark is also taking some hits. They got another route. The Oracle coming into as well to throw onto V-Tune to keep him up alive just a bit longer. Saksa, he will get rooted up. V-Tune going in, and Thompson just jumping the back line. He's throwing the Oracle into the battle, but he does have his W on, so he won't take any magical damage there. Mid one, going for another jump in here into the back, and Thompson is just making sure nobody's going to TP, or sorry, blink backwards and go back to the fountain. So they're holding the back line. They're just, I don't know, they're playing baseball or something here. They just catch General. V-Tune is in trouble. He's going to fall down as well. He does get another ulti coming in from Aloha Dance, but he will eventually fall down. GG will play it as called as well, and OG will take game 1 against FlyToMoon.
Great boss, finally down. My goodness. I gotta hand it to FlyToMoon. They were pressured this entire game. I don't think there was a single minute where OG was not on FlyToMoon's side of the map, actively scouting for their heroes, actively pushing them back, actively harassing them. And FTM didn't just keep the gold difference relatively equal, but they brought it back several times. They got a bunch of good fights off. They recovered very admirably, especially Aloha Dance, getting that Aghanims in the end. Like, he got a couple of crucial saves up, but it is just not enough when OG gets that burst damage and starts killing your heroes before you can save them at all.
Could say that it was a very evened up fight in most cases, since it could have been anyone's game. At some point, it just felt like FlyToMoon is out of this. Oh, suddenly they're back, but they were never actually out of the game. So FlyToMoon really fought hard for this, but it just comes down to those buybacks. If they're on cooldown, it means that if you lose that fight, it might just be the end of the game. In this case, it was. And FlyToMoon, they gave it their best. Maybe they can give us more in game 2 against OG. OG definitely... Well, I can only say that this was a great comeback game here for Thompson. Comeback as in coming back in to the EU games once again. So pleasure to see him perform at this level. But we're going to take a little ad break here, and we'll be back with game 2 with T-Panda and Kips casting this away.
Multiple witnesses have reported mysterious shadow sightings all around the city. According to experts, the origin of these shadows is still unclear. No matter what your passion is, soccer, rugby, racing, or esports, become a part of the experience with the moments we deliver.
heart into something gold. Knew I sold my soul to the devil long ago. I rode it all along on your wave right before it broke. Time was thrown down the well, so I let you go. What I do right now. What I do right now for you.
ESL 1 is brought to you in part by Intel, Mercedes-Benz, GG Bet, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, and DHL.
Ladies and gents, welcome back to OG versus FlyToMoon here in ESL 1 Birmingham 2020, which is the first series here for OG and FlyToMoon, their second of the group stages as well. My name is T-Panda and I'm joined by Kips as my analyst here. We've had a blast of game one, seeing Thompson making his comeback into the EU scene, having a lot of fun with his build, but also making it work out really well for their team. FlyToMoon proved to be a very valuable opponent against OG, Kips.
They certainly did. Like, the way they kept up under the constant pressure of OG, as well as the way that they recovered from their slip-ups. We saw Iceberg throw his life or the life of his teammates in the second case away at the same spot 2 times. Sometimes it's hard to recover after you do something like that, but FlyToMoon just kept going to it, and I really do think that their hot streak is definitely not ended yet. So excited to see the second game. I have no doubts that they felt like they could win the last game. I have no doubts that they could win the last game. That Vichu and Slark was really something to be reckoned with. So let's see what they go for this time. I'm curious if they'll let mid one have that Bat Rider again, though. I think that we didn't talk about it that much, but for a mid player who has shifted to the offlane, it's one of those heroes that makes you adapt really very well. You're basically playing the same thing no matter what lane you started in. So let's see if they're going to take that out or not. So far, just a little bit of Thompson focus. Ember Spirit gets through. I think FlyToMoon might look to pick that up themselves. Iceberg is a very accomplished Ember Spirit player. And no Void Spirit, no Monkey King so far.
Yeah, they also shifted Monkey King into the first phase ban instead of the last banning phase, where they would take away OG's second last, basically OG's last pick, the second last of the entire draft, now swapping it into the first phase because of, I don't know, maybe the opener from FlyToMoon, that OG might just secure Monkey King in the first phase. I don't know. I mean, this is a team that's just filled with, it just fills your mind with question marks.
If it's the Ember Spirit, you very clearly do not want to immediately give them a first phase monkey against it. You'd rather have them either lane with something that trades against it. So let's say, well, I would have used Death Prophet as an example, but unfortunately OG took her out. But maybe a Kunkka of their own or a Pugna or something like that. And then, you both farm the side camp instead of hard countering him in lane, because I don't think there's that many Ember hard counters left now that the Monkey King is out. You used to be able to play Ursa against that really well, but I don't think anyone's going to play mid Ursa in this day and age.
There's a few good Ursa players out there, but you're right that it's not that very common of a mid pick these days. I don't know. Let's see what FlyToMoon are up to. They've spent over a minute here with their fourth ban. They're thinking either the Ember Spirit here, or, well, they're just going to ban the Oracle.
Oracle out. Another protection pick, basically. So they're leaving, this is what they were thinking. They're leaving the Bat Rider in right now, and then OG actually takes it out themselves. Okay, so they were thinking that the Bat Rider would go to FlyToMoon, maybe? But
yeah, psychology.
I can only imagine it's going to be Ember.
Yep. No doubt about that. Hands down, nothing to say. The Ember Spirit was a very expected first pick, and it is right there.
Yeah. So, possible options here are, let's say, Earth Spirit, the Long Silence, is really good against an Ember, and if you secure some lanes that you can roam away from, then you can start bothering him in the laning stage already. Later on, you could always play Meepo against the Spirit Heavy Draft, just because the eternity of all of the net routes really messes with, well, all of the spirits.
Yeah.
But for now, I think they might start with something a little bit more conservative.
You know what? Sorry to interrupt. Is like, you know what would be really fancy for OG here if they went for a Lone Druid starter?
Ooh. I don't think I've even seen them play Lone Druid yet. Right, what's the deal with Lone Druid? Is it just a Finnish thing, you know, bears?
Yeah, I guess. Well, neither of these kind of resemble the bear. We have the Earthshaker and the Enchantress. We spoke about the Enchantress in the first game's draft, that it was a possible pick there. Will be brought up by OG now.
So, two things here. They have a stun from off-screen plus an instant stun later on the Earthshaker, which are both really valuable tools in catching an Ember Spirit, as well as the Enchantress in the laning stage is going to be able to take off his Flame Guard with her enchant, which is just really annoying to play against. And FlyToMoon go for the direct Shaker counter with the Clockwork. He's also very good against an Enchantress, just because you can walk her down with the Battery Assault. So, solid starters from both teams here.
Yeah, it's going to force some force staffs to be built in the game, at least to get rid of those cogs and just keep away from Clock. That's like the item to counter Clock, but Clock right now, as he said, hard counter here for the Earthshaker. Can't really get anything out. Just interrupts all of his abilities except for the Echo Slam, obviously, instant cast. But it's just so good to have this Clock pick overall against the Shaker. Also, zoning capability here. I think that's something that Ember really relies on, is a lot of mobility happening around in fights, isolating people with a root. If people are coming to help out, Clock can isolate the rest of them. So if you force Clockwork to be a support, for example, you can buy the time for Ember to finish off someone if you have a choke point where you can keep the enemy from coming to assistance, which is what OG does a lot of these times, is that when they already preliminary initiate onto someone, they have the backup following up just that like 1 or 2 seconds behind. They're already TPing in, they're rotating, they're moving towards it, and then you have the Clockwork and just take these people away and buy the time for FlyToMoon to make their actions happen. But it also requires that the rest of your lineup is either very mobile, that can move along like Ember Spirit or the Clockwork, or then you have a very stable kind of strong front line, allowing the Ember Spirit to have this nimble movement from back and forth, hitting the back line, coming out, doing these hit and run style types of attacks.
Ujiko with the Luna. Alright, I'm going to just say it straight up. I'm not a big fan of this hero right now. I don't see which timing she's supposed to hit. Like, I can see the power of the Aura build for going for a very mid-game 5-man oriented kind of lineup, but then the problem is that she's so fragile in lane. Like, she's strong if she can burst other heroes down, but at the same time she's so easily bursted herself. And with an Ember Spirit and a Clockwork on the field, and now with this Phoenix too, it's going to be so hard for her to stand in these fights. I don't think an Enchantress heal is going to be enough.
Now that I see the Luna, I'm kind of like, I wish FlyToMoon would have second picked Mars, for example. Because Mars and Phoenix are just so good together.
Well, how do you know that's not still going to happen?
It's still there, but I don't know. Mars could bring you that required front line for the team too, but I'm mixed feelings here. I don't think that they would go for Mars. I would personally really like to see Mars being picked here for FlyToMoon, because OG doesn't really have the answers to destroy the egg, and if they can have someone who's like close enough to hold the enemy team in place, which is exactly what Mars can give, to protect the egg and allow the team fight to happen nearby. Clockwork already does something similar, but I think Mars would be such a huge tool here for FlyToMoon, but it's really down to OG's picks here. And it's going to be an Abaddon. So you have Abaddon protecting the Luna at least. You have the Heart Dispel to remove all of these big stuns. You built those. You have two heroes building Force Staff, the Enchantress and the Luna. So if you already get hit by the Clockwork, Abaddon needs to be somewhere nearby. You can remove the stuns. You can push the Luna out from the cogs. You don't really have the ranged firepower with just only the Enchantress to destroy the cogs and run through. You would just want to quickly get out of there with the Force Staff movement. But having the Abaddon as your backup is already really good. It also takes away the big advantage, which is the Phoenix Egg stun. And now you have Shadow Demon as well, so we have not exactly a counter pick, because the Abaddon's probably going to be support for OG, but if they went for SD, we would have seen the good old school Luna SD illusion push. Now, FlyToMoon can use the Luna illusions for their advantage. They can also cause a lot of harm for the Enchantress, losing the Untouchable buff as well. So many good things here for FlyToMoon in their draft. What they need now is either someone who hits towers and also deals damage, or just simply a tower damage hitter if they rely that their damage on team fights is enough.
I'm not sure if they're going to prioritize that. Yeah, like Abaddon, for example, is completely unplayable against Shadow Demon. If they wanted to play this as a core, they certainly don't anymore now. Just because once Shadow Demon disrupts you, you get 2 illusions of yourself hitting you, you're actually silenced within seconds. And then, well, you're an Abaddon. You're supposed to be using your spells to take silences off, but you can't. So it is extremely frustrating. And the same goes for the fact that Shadow Demon spells and damage over time just do a lot versus your ability to save people. And I think you're correct in the way you analyze this, that OG is going to look to kite out this egg as opposed to beating it. The Phoenix came out too late in the draft already for them to really say, oh, we're going to pick up a Snapfire or a Mirana. They're going to try and hit it down with the Ench, or maybe with, can I say Arc Warden? But,
I don't know, if you go Arc, then you're super greedy.
I'm not putting it behind there.
I mean, the reason why I wouldn't go for Arc here is just, it just pushes, if you're talking about OG picking Arc Warden, right?
Mm-hmm, yes.
That would just give them nothing strong enough for their early mid game. They would be on such a long timer in a sense that they would be punished early on against FlyToMoon's aggressive lineup. Clockwork especially is the guy who would bullying you for like forever. You're going to really want to hate your game at that point.
Thompson plays the triple Wraith Band Treads Arc Warden who just comes to hit your towers. I'm not, like, I wasn't going to say like, oh man, they're going to pick that for sure, but I enjoy it just because I like seeing teams push slower heroes to a faster slot, like Mushi used to do with Medusa, frontlining her even while going that awful Mantascati build.
yeah. I mean, of course, I totally understand. Like, that is still something that they could go for. It's just that, in my opinion, I feel like it's not strong enough. Now, then again, there's a Morphling. And this could just trap OG a little bit here. I like the Morphling pickup here because there's so many saves for this hero, especially with the SD. And I just feel like, yeah, I mean, the Shaker Morphling, this is very standard in a sense.
Only 10 seconds.
And this is also one of VTune's specialties. The thing that interests me most here is that this is going to be either a Clockwork or a Phoenix core. I gotta say I enjoy the idea of a Phoenix core more. Just because, once again, I like the idea of having someone who can tank, who can frontline. You get to soak a lot of damage before you get that egg off. And then, of course, this is a 5 position though. Okay. Interesting. General on the Clockwork, because extra Sunbeam, extra levels behind the Sunbeam will definitely allow your Morph and Ember to play up more. But instead, this is a Thompson Invoker.
And mid one with Abaddon. So it's an offlane Abaddon instead of the support.
I think he's going to hate his life. Just saying.
Might be.
Like, basically your option against a Shadow Demon, if you want to cast spells, is to not level your silence.
I feel like Soxa and Thompson are going to have like really big like key positions here for OG to make sure that they have the crowd control they need for the team fights. Soxa can turn around fights so well if he just gets the required amount of stun duration time, especially from mid one, to build up the silence stacks onto the Ember Spirit, for example, if he gets the opportunity to hit him. Same thing with the Morphling, if you can just silence him up. It's just mid one needs to be dishing right clicks almost all the time when there are stuns available. And with Thompson Invoker, if he does go for the Quas Wax build, it adds even more control for the team.
Yes, this is most likely Quas Wax Invoker. I've seen Thompson play Exhort sometimes, but it's just not the same as his patented Spirit Vessel build, is it?
Totally. Well, let's see what's going to happen in Game 2. Is FlyToMoon going to be capable of tying up this series 1-1 and force a Game 3? Or are we going to see the Prodigy son, Thompson, lead OG to another victory here? Let's see what happens in Game 2.
Vichu knows what's up. You are in over your head. With a Morphling, right? Because I'm looking at the timings of these lineups right now, and I was talking before, the only way I can see Luna working is if you have saves and if you have a mid-game 5-man pushing lineup. And with the core Abaddon behind her, yeah, they can definitely hit that. As well as with the team fight control from Thompson, they have the ability to disengage whenever fights don't go their way. The problem, and I would really only call this a problem if it were another team than OG, is that they're on a bit of a timer. They can definitely scale, but with a Morphling and an Ember Spirit on the other team, fights are eventually going to get harder for them. Just because the Ember Spirit eventually outscales the Luna in basically every sense but his ability to take base. And even then, if the Morphling steals the Luna form, your base is going to die just as fast as it would have the other way around.
What I like about is this Ops Ward placed down by OG, just giving the vision next to the tier 2 tower. So allowing for potential... No, I don't think OG has the greatest courier snipe lineup, unless it's No-Tail who wants to be doing that. But at the same time, they can see all this rotation, all this movement going on, maybe even like force some of the creeps to go into the jungle. I don't know, they want to prioritize Sumail to get a good start. We've seen Sumail play this offlane Luna, where you have the tri-lane helping you out. OG definitely has the capability of keeping him alive, protecting him when they need to, but also securing that solo XP and solo farm in lane. Now, Lohadance is now actually even also moving towards the bot lane to make it 2 versus 3. I kind of just like this ops placement.
Info, it's general. And he was completely ready for this. He was already in position to take down those cogs and make sure that the block was less heavy than it could have been. And on the other side, Saxa has already blocked off the creep wave, so...
Yeah.
General's going to lose his first range creep to the tower, and... the wave ends up in a great position for Smith.
And he's going to like this. At the same time, Abaddon going up against the Morphling in the top lane. It's the Phoenix backing him up as well, so mid one's not going to enjoy this lane a lot. He just said he's really not going to have a fun time. Might be a rough Abaddon game as well in general for mid one, but you know, can always work around with your team. You get those stuns perfectly working out for you and your team, and you know, make big things happen with the Abaddon. I think that's what OG just needs everything to click together, and they're going for mid one again. Just get silence on the Phoenix, and we'll just man fight this all the way to the end. Not enough for a kill though, because V-Tune is blocking him, and V-Tune will get the first blood, so the South pop by always want to fly. Goes back to full HP. Abaddon, not sure if he's... well, he's gonna buy himself another set of tangos. That's all he can afford.
And the question here is really if Always Wanna Fly is going to stay top or not. Because what you want as OG right here is use this tri-lane pressure and the idea that you have a better tri-lane with the help of the Enchantress to force a defensive tri-lane on the bottom lane. Give you a 1v1 top. Abaddon likes that much more. And he's most likely not going to die 1v1 versus a Morphling. So the question is, are FlyToMoon prepared to keep this clockwork down here, even if he might get, you know, he won't be able to harass Sumail very well. He might get harassed out by the tri-lane pressure, but they'll give V-Tune a good lane. What are they going to decide? And a lot of teams instinctively try to match the tri-lane, and I think the right play here is to keep Always Wanna Fly top. So
I think the lanes are looking pretty good for them right now. We haven't really checked out this mid lane matchup. You have Thompson with 9 CS and Iceberg with 11 on the Ember Spirit. Very even lane here for both mid players. What do you think about the mid player rotations this game?
For Thompson, it's going to be all about that urn. And then if he can get the first kills off for that urn, you might even see the entirety of the OG lineup rotate for that. Whereas for Iceberg, it's way more rune dependent. If he gets an early rune at level 6 already, he might just go for the rotation. Thompson is so annoying with these tornadoes. Takes off the flame guard as well.
He's got cold snap, but he's not going to use it. Saksa frozen the stun. Meanwhile, mid one goes down at the top lane. That's death number 2 for the Baden Iceberg. Oh, look at this. We've got a lower dance coming in. He needs another stack onto Thompson. Can he out-regen this? He does have a Fairy Fire holding onto it. Should be fine. Dodges the third Shadow Poison. Does he dodge another? Lower dance is like, I'm not going to spend mana on you.
Quaswax Invoker is very annoying. He regens so hard, but...
Oh. You hear the Fairy Fire being used by Thompson. 2 stacks Aloha Dance. Keep making sure that the Invoker can't retaliate onto Iceberg. Necessary moves at this
all out of
point.
mana now.
Oh yeah.
He's got a clarity going. He'll keep hovering.
That's the thing with the Shaker, and there we have it. Topson, once again, I'm just looking at the bottom lane, come back to mid, and Topson getting initiated on his Soxa wants to go over a sneaky kill. 1, 2, there we have it. Soxa kills Iceberg.
Mental damage. Iceberg tips him
Mental
too.
damage
He's a
indeed.
good sport. He's a good sport. And yeah, commending FlyToMoon here because instead of answering OG's pressure, instead they just rotate their support out. And they pretty much ditch General. General's doing fine enough. He's got level 3. He won't exactly have the easiest start here, but he's not completely pushed out of his lane yet either.
No, and Morphling just continues to get better.
Kill here.
Might be. Well, yeah, he should fall. There's a fissure thrown in, but General will get the kill. I think what he tried to do there was just to try and fissure him out from the cogs with a little push, but probably would have died to the cogs anyway. 5-minute bounties. Should go 2 for 2. Still 1 unpicked, and lower down, so we'll head for that. Also making some stacks in the jungle. You can see a nice triple stack formed here in the Radiant jungle. Waiting for the Ember Spirit to go and farm those at some point. Looking for Topson, forces his combo. And we've got a lot of OG players heading into the mid lane. We've got Soxa, we've got No Tail. Slide Fist has been used. This is your 10-second timer. They need to make it count. There comes the bubble. Saving the Ember Spirit for now. Iceberg should be fine. Gets the root onto Topson, tanking the tower. Oh, that hurts. Mid one also gets a kill and always want to fly at the same time. And there's another fight going on at top. As Mid One gets the kill, V-Tune not fast enough for Mid One. He survives with 23 HP.
That was a close one for Mid One, and he can't actually afford to die there again. He's been so poor. 12 last hits to his name only.
And 41 on V-Tune.
But he's getting matched by the Luna. So both carries have an excellent start here. And I would want to say that favors OG, just because Sumail can actually move into that mid-game carry position where he's going to be using his aura with the base damage bonus, with the base armor bonus to really 5-man down enemy lanes. Whereas for a Morphling it mostly means an earlier E-Blade, and he doesn't even seem to be going into that yet. He's got a Yasha queued up.
Soxa with the fissure actually moves General into safety. If he was on the other side of the wall, it would have been maybe a potential kill. And Battery Assault to make sure that Soxa won't be able to get a single enchant to let him off. So no stuns for him today. Always want to fly. Always also here in the bot lane. No Tail tanking the tower a bit. He does have a catapult, which they want to keep alive. Should be able to destroy this tower. Soxa still looking for that fissure just to isolate the Clockwork from the lane. Iceberg and Topson, just this casual harass going on. But that bottom tower will fall 7 minutes into the game, and Mid One is still holding his tier 1 up alive.
He is going to cop some extra pressure into it now as well. But yeah, the big difference there, especially in the tower damage, is that OG took the care to take their catapult and keep it alive. Whereas V-Tune does not have such tools available to him.
This is getting to a very...
so early. This is the Helm of the Dominator on the Luna. So much extra base damage as well.
And another move into mid as well. 1 stun, 2 stun combo. This Centaur will follow up there with the No Tail Centaur stuns. Topson gets the kill on Iceberg. This time the rotation pulls off, and Sumail also joined in with the Lucent Beam. So OG might look for another tower kill here. Got the creep wave under the tower. The glyph has been used as well. Still no response from FlyToMoon.
Yeah, I don't actually think that FTM can afford to let this tower fall so early.
Clockwork is still level 5, so no hookshot. Doesn't look like they can really help him at this stage. And now Iceberg on the other side of the fissure once again. Soxa not throwing out the best fissures, but at least he's contributing. Maybe he'll get some really good ones later on. Soxa might just pay the price here. Iceberg, Sunray still burning. 3 stacks of Shadow Poison. And a lower dance will cut his life short. Well, bottom lane, No Tail versus General. Tail should be able to get out from the cogs. Has to blow up 2. And the body blocks from General. Cog push and the rocket flare. But that's a solo kill.
Very nicely done from General there. And it's something that he really needed to push him over into that level 6. Because, yeah, the pressure from OG is mounting now. You can see with a good start in that lane, the Luna can join fights, and she doesn't even really have to right-click anything. People think, oh, she's fragile because she's short range, but
Another attempt
if
in
you
mid,
get
always
Iron
want to
Man,
fly.
tank it for you.
Combo right click connecting, and it will be enough. Thompson gets the kill. He's trying to go for TP out as well. Will be cancelled. Or actually, I think he cancelled it himself there with the move. The Thompson will fall. He gets a kill on always want to fly first, but that is his third death of the game. Now Morphling also joined into the fight.
They really want to keep this mid tower, and they're right to do so. If you lose out on this mid tower, you're constantly going to have this wave up against your mid tower. Just because the mid lane is so much shorter than the other lanes. Creeps arrive faster, enemy gets vision, pressure.
Clockwork is also 6, so General might be looking for some moves. They have been scouted out by another observer ward. And they also have a really deep ops ward here as well, giving all the info next to the mid tier 1 tower. So they're definitely not in the dark right now, OG that is. And FlyToMoon, all 4 bounty runes maybe, V-Tune. And that's a straight flush.
Very nice.
Radiant's top tower is
There's another catapult wave coming in though. Curious to see if OG just goes for this mid tower again. Looks like it to me. Got the Ogre Frost Mage creep now as well. Get some extra armor onto their heroes, maybe onto the catapult as well later.
Yep.
Just refreshing on Dobson for now.
Bottom lane, however. General being initiated on by Sox and Sumail. Sumail pops the ultimate, kills off the creeps, and there we go. General has been punished, opening up the bot lane, but meanwhile at the end they realize that there's not many people in mid, so let's go and take a fight here. The egg has been dropped down as well. Thompson in my mid one, and No-Tail, they blow up the egg, they manage to take it down. No-Tail trying to make for a run for it. Iceberg cuts him down. Thompson will fall as well, and now mid one is the final lone survivor here. We have the Earthshaker walking along the river though. Mid one is a really tanky boy. I feel like he's happily fighting this Iceberg. Silenced up, mid one. Doesn't have an ultimate, has some stick charges, pops another shield. 6 seconds for the Enchantress to be up alive. Sox up
Watch him
very low
silence
on mana.
himself.
Does he have enough to pop the Echo Slam? But they're just sticking away from him. They're not allowing him to use it at all. And V-Tune picks up a double kill.
You can see there, as soon
Oh,
as the
No-Tail.
disruption is out, Abaddon doesn't have a game again.
No-Tail. I think they're fine. They
Oh,
see
you can do
Thompson
this.
keeping in. Does have the Remnant. Tornado. Almost on point.
Iceberg playing on his tiptoes, and another assassination attempt on that mid tower thwarted. And FTM better gear up because they're gonna come again. They will throw themselves against this mid tower until the sun dies. Smell found himself a nice alpha wolf. He's
Thompson
gonna
wants to go
flank
for this.
again.
Iceberg has just enough mana to pop a Remnant, taking some heavy damage from Thompson. Tornado catches him. EMP should be there. General
Hookshot.
interrupting, and now mid one coming into the fight as well as General. He does manage to get that hookshot to connect, and he's holding a lot of people inside his cogs, but he will end up falling here. He's very low, 200 HP, and mid one gives the slap once again. V-Tune is trying to make his way out as well. He does get cold snap, using his waveform to get a bit further away from OG, but OG managed to get the tower and the kill.
Seems like the sun gets to live today, but yeah, that was extremely predictable in a way. OG will, if they feel like they're as strong as they are right now, and they're 2k behind, mind you, but they know they have the Luna Aura, they know they have all of their spells up on these heroes, they have the Urn on Thompson, they will just go for this. They don't care that your Morphling has a bit of net worth, because as long as he doesn't have his E-Blade, he's not really that much of a presence yet. And Thompson says it correctly here. Fight
They've also
me.
pinged out. Always want to fly. Here's the cold snap. Thompson mid one giving up the chase here. Fire Spirits to slow down mid one. 6 seconds for his ulti.
Anyone doesn't have an
Very
ulti?
close. Sneak. No, 3 seconds away from his ulti. There's the hookshot
close
coming
enough.
from General as well. He's got Thompson. The dust will be used as well. And Invoker should be dead. Sunray, poisons, slapping everything on Invoker. Thompson is dead. They also get the ward. So FlyToMoon, despite OG hungry for some kills, they get punished for it.
A little bit.
And another
A
tower
little
loss
bit.
as well. So this is big for FlyToMoon.
Yes. It
Yes.
definitely is. They finally get that space up on the map, because one of the things that happens if their towers are still up and yours are not, they have very easy access points, and it means that the game stays fast, even when it should slow down, just because, you know, there is more distance to cross. So you need to equalize on those towers just to make sure that they have more distance to cross as well, not just you.
14 minutes played. FlyToMoon holding on to a 3k net worth lead. 5k almost in XP as well. They've definitely come strong into this game too, despite OG having a very good laning stage. Not bad for
always when a
FlyToMoon
fight
either.
gets predicted.
Really good tornado from Thompson. Burns out Phoenix's entire mana pool. And they turn around onto Thompson. Mid one has a shield available. But he's too late. He was already casting it, but he's too late with it. Now he's going to get bubbled up. No Tail will die to General. That's a solo kill happening in the back line. And Abaddon is also in trouble. Pops his ultimate. And eventually leading to his death. V-Tune 5-0-2 on this Morphling. And Iceberg also being a part of this fight. Despite, I mean, look at
there
the...
goes Golo Dance. He was just sitting in that tree, waiting until Thompson overextended. He wasn't gonna lift a finger
Smoke.
until he did that.
Can they get Soxa? Soxa's on the low ground, and the Centaur will actually reveal Iceberg with the bouncy room. So Soxa was just close enough to pop it. General hook shot connection will connect onto Soxa. Yeah, will be your shaker gone, and another. Oh no, they've got another one. OG in trouble. Sumail is the target this time. He pops his ultimate to try and buy some time for himself. There comes the tornado from Thompson, trying to isolate and move people away. Now we got General being chased down by a mid one, and mid one just slapping away, and he takes down the Clockwork just in the end. And now V-Tune and Always Want to Fly. They want to disengage from this. Meanwhile, in the river, No Tail. Oh, he misses the impetus onto Iceberg. That would have been a kill if it didn't miss.
Ooh. And Thompson is unfortunately not an Exhort Invoker, so even though he lands that Sunstrike smack dang in the middle of Iceberg, it doesn't actually matter.
You see the tips going for Iceberg with Lady Fortune on his side.
He's feeling himself right now. He had a very rough mid lane. He was just basically using his bottle to hang on for dear life, but he's done it, and he's entered a very nice mid game for himself now. He's getting close to a Desolator.
I love how No-Tail's just last hitting with this Hill Troll Berserker here. Chased by Jimmy into the trees. The great escape, the great fight.
Efficiency.
Sumail gonna get found. They have an Obs Ward on the cliff, so they see the location of Sumail. Oh, the Echo Slam will come from Soxa. Keep Morphling busy, but Sumail will fall in the end. The ultimate will pop and Always Want to Fly with the damage. So Sumail punished again. Meanwhile, mid one.
We found mid one as well.
Ultimate has been forced to pop. Thompson just sitting next to him. General hookshot is ready, looking for the double. Which one does he want to go for? OG disengaging. Iceberg could have just jumped onto Thompson here. Misses the tornado. Gets Soxa. Soxa into the cogs, holding him in place. V-Tune comes in for the interruption. Mid one has no ultimate for 40 seconds. He needs to get out of here. General giving the chase. Aloe would dance once again with a disruption, and that is a dead Abaddon. Nothing that mid one can actually do here, and it's denied.
Tomato and Potato coming to the rescue.
Yes.
Well, one stroke of Lady Luck for Iceberg, one for mid one.
Name a more dynamic duo than the Potato and the Tomato. V-Tune getting EMP'd. Also Cold Snap. Thompson frozen another Urn Charge to keep those stuns ticking. 3000 HP when he's got that almost more than half strength above his agility. Very hard to kill. Always Want to Fly. Has his egg ready. They actually have all their ultimates. Hookshot up in 10. 19 seconds as well for the Morphling ulti to be ready. OG, however, Echo Slam, 1 more minute.
Yeah, I think it's time for OG to slow this game down a bunch. Sumail has died several times in a row now. He's on his way to a BKB, but not exactly hitting that timing. And he's smoked up again. I admire OG, you know. They say we run at people, and they're going to do it. Sumail's just straight up into the enemy jungle. If there's anyone here, he's dead, but they guess there's no one here.
He's listening to you.
They know there's no one here. Alright, Sumail, you got this. You got this, my man. I believe in you. Just maybe wait for that BKB, okay? Okay? We good?
DP's coming in mid. V-Tune baiting out the first movements from OG. Pops them Manta and removes the Cold Snap. Tower at 400 HP. Nothing happening yet. Now Sumail, the stun onto the Phoenix Soxa. If only he had the Echo Slam, it would have been so much damage. And General gets an egg. Wow, what a hook shot.
This
and
egg's gonna go off.
The egg is gonna explode. Nothing can stop them from stopping it. And then we have mid one stunned, Thompson stunned, dead. And now No-Tail trying to make his way out. Mid one is taking the punishment here. Will also die as No-Tail dies. That's 3 heroes down. This will be a 4th. and FlyToMoon are playing it in fashion.
That hook shot into the middle, splitting the entire team fight apart, it's a thing of beauty. Like, you have to dare that and know that once you do that, always want to fly pops that egg, there is nothing that stops you from cleaning it up again. Sumail? Eclipse? No? Oh, you saw him throwing that glaive in the air.
Dyer's middle tower is being attacked.
Yeah, I think that's the moment I saw that hook shot go in is the moment where you can just hear it in the comms like nice, and everyone would just want to follow up on it. The Phoenix egg popping at the same time. Now, however, we do have Aloha Dance in a bit of trouble. One man Echo Slam. Still saving himself with the bubble iceberg in the middle of everything. Then we take down one. Suxa will die to General's rocket. And the two-man cogs with the hook shot. General! FlyToMoon! Take down 4 heroes. Just like that. What a play. Go Roshan indeed. V-Tune straight to the Roshan pit. Always want to fly is right next to him. Throwing some fiery spirits, slowing him down. But FTM, 11,000 net worth lead now. It's a big hill to climb for OG.
It's a huge hill. It is, I'm gonna educate you here a little bit though, my Finnish friend.
Yes,
Garrosh
yes,
is not
please.
actually Go Roshan.
What it is?
It's
What is
something
it?
like, attaboy.
Attaboy. Ah, I thought I heard Roshan in the sentence, so I automatically
That's
just
what
thought.
I thought in like the first month that I listened to Russian comms as well, so no worries there.
You
But
just need to channel your inner pub mentality. Every time you hear something spoken in Russian, if it's your teammate, you just have to say it's positive things and think positive through that. And PMA will carry you to victory. And in this case, it was probably something like that. But bottom lane, mid one is not feeling the positivity right now, and he will get exploded by B-Tune.
yeah, he's feeling something alright.
29 to 9.
They're getting wrecked. And I have to say that I thought this was going to be just a standard OG game. When they take the mid tower that early, alright, you can keep running at them a bit, but it's just, you know, to buy space now and hit your time on Sumail. Because we've seen this Sumail Luna before, and he really took his time back then. But instead, I do think that even though...
Thompson, be careful here. He has the ulti. Thompson dropping low. Right click's kicking in, and there's the isolating cogs, making sure that mid one cannot get nearby to throw the egg out. Now that hook shot doesn't quite work out. Should make mid one survive, and there's the egg. Just to make sure. Is it going to be enough though? Is Sumail in stun range? No, he's just outside of it. He won't get stunned up, but the sun ray still ticking. V-Tune kicking in. At the same time, the ultimate from Luna, but it does absolutely nothing. OG are forced to retreat onto the high ground. V-Tune doesn't care, and neither does Iceberg. It's a double kill. More kills are coming in their way. They're trying to hunt for the Saxa, but they can't actually find it, and that's it. OG, GG, 22 minutes in. FlyToMoon force at game 3.
Wow. Just wow. I'm gonna say here, General didn't miss a single hook shot that game. That was Aloha Dance messing him up the one time. No hating on my man General here. He had the hardest lane in the game. He got solo kills out of it. He made a couple of absolutely beautiful plays for his team. And V-Tune joining in without even going for the E-Blade first is exemplary stuff. I wish more Morphlings would do that. So absolutely deserved win here for FlyToMoon. This is delightful. I want to see this game 3.
I'm hyped. I'm really ready for game 3 now. Like FlyToMoon's, they were a strong opponent in game 1. In game 2, they just felt like they had control. They waited for their levels to come online. Even though OG, like Sumail was pushing down, they got the bottom tower at 7 minutes. They were putting a lot of pressure in mid lane and trying to create space from there, trying to take over the map. It didn't work out. FlyToMoon, when they got their levels, they didn't really need that many items on their side. It was all about them just getting the levels they needed, play around those, play around the ultimates, and honestly, MVP General, those hook shots really made them that mid-game look what it was. But we're going to go to a game 3 after a commercial break, so don't disappear anywhere. This is a hype series and you don't want to miss it.
My name is Jordan Gilbert, aka Nothing.
Hi, my name is Sue Lee. My handle is Snix. I think it's important for these initiatives to happen. Empathy really, really goes a long way, and it always means so much to us, and I think that's where initiatives like this really help.
I encourage everyone in the community, anytime they see bullying, anytime they see someone getting called names, or I encourage you to step up and say something.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun.
Multiple witnesses have reported mysterious shadow sightings all around the city. According to experts, the origin of these shadows is still unclear.
Everybody loves an underdog. Who needs to be liked?
Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
never enough, baby. No, I don't care too much. I don't care too much. As long as I can keep you by my side. I don't care too much. We got time, no rush. In your eyes, I always see there is something meant for me. In your eyes, I always feel different. Tell me everything's alright. Life is just a bunch of phases, and if it's not, we'll still be fine. I know we're going places. I don't care too much. I don't care too much. As long as I can keep you by my side. I don't care too much. We got time, no rush. In your eyes, I always see there is something meant for me. In your eyes, I always feel different. Under peach yellow skies, dreaming big and aiming high. Name the clouds passing by, wishing we run away. All we need is our passports, baby. Leave the rest in our troubled minds. Let us go down in laughter, baby. Trying to figure out what we're after. We're never heading back until we're older. We couldn't care no more, not any longer. Under peach yellow skies, we keep on searching, but we will never know what we're after.
ESL 1 is brought to you in part by Intel, Mercedes-Benz, Gseb, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, and DHL.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. Game 3 time between OG and FlyToMoon. FTM tied up the series 1-1, and now we're going to see who's going to take this series home. My name is T-Panda, and I'm joined by Kips once again as my co-caster. It has been an absolutely fantastic series up till this point. OG, the stronger in the first, FTM giving the middle finger in game 2. Now game 3, anything can happen. And I think we're going to continue with the same types of bands that we've had before. Monkey King, Void Spirit, Quap. These are very standard starters here. Like, if we're going to see anything different here, I would hope to see Chen.
You hope
Probably
to see Chen? You're rooting for OG, aren't you? I know what you're up to. FlyToMoon knows what you're up to.
Yeah, exactly. I would have hoped maybe FTM pull off a wild Chen out of nowhere. I mean, they don't play it that much, but who knows? But, I know, it's banned, so we can forget about Chen.
We can. The hero offers just too much to a team with OG's map coordination. The early push, the ability to pull heroes across the map when you need them to join the pushes, it's too useful, basically. As well as with all of the heals and sustain, OG love to play more fragile cores or more mobile cores with a lot of sustain behind them, so none of that business. They still take out the Rubik, they still take out the Quap. That Iceberg Quap is certainly something to be feared. And of course, on the other side, FlyToMoon still respects the two big tops and heroes. No Void Spirit, no Monkey King. The question is, where is Ember Spirit going?
Good question.
Or into the drafts?
Yep, FTM. They started off with Ember Spirit in game 2. See if they want to get it for themselves if OG doesn't ban it. OG does ban it, so we can forget about the Ember Spirit as well. Maybe a different starter this time ahead. FTM's been starting their drafts with Grimstroke if it's available. If it doesn't get, usually not banned, it's just given through. But they're going to have to maybe respond to what OG picks as their double pick. So if you see something that's counter-worthy, like we saw in, was it game 1, where OG would pick Grimstroke against the Pangolier, that would be one thing to go for.
Yeah, for example, a hero that I think has been a bit underrated this series so far is Shadow Demon. This hero, not only does it counter a ton of the meta heroes that rely on, for example, Yules or on dispellable things in order to survive, like, say, Ember Spirit or Death Prophet, it's also very good against stuff like Mars and Faceless Void, where people who get caught in an arena like that can still be completely safe from whatever's going to hit them. So I really enjoy that hero. I think it's very strong right now, and it also combos up really well with offlaners as a setup. So I want to go in on it and say, all right, FlyToMoon, get the one first. Why don't you?
Technically, they could just go for a very similar draft as they did in game 2. I mean, they banned the Oracle, which means that OG will ban the Batrider. They don't want to give FTM Bat if Oracle's banned. So Phoenix, that's a repeat pick for FTM. See if OG are going to mirror their picks this time as well. We had the Shaker and the Enchantress. That could possibly mean FTM just goes for Clockwork right after. So if they change their starter pick here, might just bait FTM to not pick Clockwork. It worked out really well for General in game 2.
Yeah, but that was also a direct counter pick into the Earthshaker, same as that the Phoenix was the start of the second phase last time around, and yeah, you're just asking to get directly countered in the supports if you pick the Phoenix first. So there's the Mirana. Leap attack speed usually makes short work of the Phoenix, as well as that her arrows are... Phoenix follows a very predictable trajectory on his dive, so you can do some spectacular stuff with that. Hoping to see Saxa hit some good ones, and OG stick with the Abaddon for now. Might go to No-Tail, might end up for mid one again. I think that the previous game into the Shadow Demon, who still is available by the way, was just bound to be a disaster from the draft on. So maybe they give it to No-Tail this time.
OG
I can
also
see-
have a lot of Mirana players.
A great many. I actually think that probably all of their cores play it, plus Saxa. Yeah, there's a Shadow Demon. So, no stuns in the supports for FlyToMoon. This might be something that OG counted on. Okay, we can get the Baron. They're gonna counter with the SD. At the very least, it leaves them with a bit of a weak support duo, so that Phoenix might still get rotated out to core. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that could be a possibility that they run the Phoenix core instead of a support this time around. SD is a good pick here for saving people from the Mirana arrow. Also apply some pressure. We saw how strong the SD was when he rotated mid to start punishing Thompson's Invoker. And OG actually banning the Clockwork right
Makes me
here.
think they
So
want
yeah,
to go for another shaker.
could be. If that's a shaker, that means it's a core Mirana.
It is not.
Leshrick. All right. Welcome to
Ooh.
Ponyland.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of legs on this team.
Yep. The legs draft. Or the mount draft, whatever you want to call it. Whoever wants
So-
to mount the track.
How? Sure, I've seen that art somewhere.
It's probably someone's probably done it already. Anyway, FTM, what do they want to respond here?
With the Lesh, well, one of the good options to get on top of the Lesh has just been taken out. Ideally, against the Leshrack, either a Blade Mail builder, just because he has so much damage that he can't control, basically. As well as that, you want some front line up against all the damage. And a Blade Mail is a pretty cheap item, so you can actually match the tempo that Lesh is going to be pushing out. Mars.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Phoenix Mars, let's go.
Phoenix Mars. I mean,
You've got-
does this combo still need explaining? I was
No,
sort of sitting here
no.
like, do I
You
do
don't
it?
have to, Kips. You don't have to, Kips. We all know how this rolls out.
They have the Shadow Demon themselves, so it can't be counterpicked anymore. You'd want to now take an OD or something like that. I gotta say, OD and Mirana Arrow are a very nice combination, but Thompson doesn't exactly favor the OD because you can't run at people with it, can you? So it gets a lot harder to draft a save into this lineup now from the Mars Arena. You're going to have to sustain through it, and let me tell you something, Lesh does not sustain through things. In fact, Mars can pretty reliably bonk him to death with his shield.
Until you hit the BKB timings, which makes
Yes.
Mars's life a lot harder here. So Mirana and Lesh, if Mirana's a core that is, are both potential BKB carriers for this game. To allow them to work around the Mars ultimate by just walking out, forcing it. But it also means if they can't hold their sustainability in the ring, especially Leshrack in this case, you're going to have to force your BKB charge just to either disengage from the Mars ulti or just fight your way through it inside. But Mars also dishes out a really nasty amount of damage the further the game goes. So Centaur will give you some kind of cover with it, but the Stampede gives you the capability of disengaging really quickly, also allows you to run at FTM as soon as, for example, the egg pops and you want to explode it. You'll just pop your Stampede, let's destroy the egg and work around from there, which allows Mars to go in, intercept all of these people running at you. So the further this game goes, it's just going to get harder for FTM, and they're going to pick up Lycan.
And that is a very strong Lycan game so far. Leshrack's gonna get his damage diluted by all of the extra units that Lycan's going to have with him. Centaur does okay in the lane against it, but his support's going to get harassed by wolves a bunch. And Abaddon doesn't do very well with people running at him. Mirana doesn't do it. This is a great Lycan pick, and I'm honestly surprised that FlyToMoon got to pick it up so late in the draft.
It has been banned before.
In trouble. It has, yes. I mean, it should be banned. Honestly, it should be banned first phase, but these two teams got a bit too deep into this game of what do the other guys play, that they forgot about the big white wolf.
Are we talking about the mental damage again, Kips? Because it could be a thing. Conquer ban. So no Iceberg Kunkka. So what will FTM pick for their mid? And who is he gonna go up against most likely? Is it the Mirana? Is it the Lesh?
It would most likely be a Lesh, but OG has a habit of switching these heroes around. So Iceberg Classics that are still in the pool, Lina is still there, DK is still there. I think that DK could do really very well. Add some tower damage, add like another hero that needs to be brought down by an OG team that just doesn't bring any right click damage right now at all. And Monkey King is out of the pool, that's one of their classic counters to it. I could see a DK here. Maybe Death Prophet? There's Death Prophet. No, she's not out. Either of those two.
Well, they ban at least one hero that Lycan has a bit trouble killing while you have that shapeshift up and running and trying to hunt for kills and just run at them and try and destroy them every time you have your ulti off cooldown. You just want to run to fights with Lycan. The best way to pull it off in the early game, especially if you go for the Dominator build, have yourself that extra creep, maybe even the stun. You can also go for like the Wolf. The Wolf will just amplify Lycan's damage by a lot. I'll get SF, so you got yourself a lot of tempo on FlyToMoon.
For sure. This could very well be one of those tempo SF builds, like Mech is a possibility, Yules is a possibility. And one of the benefits of SF, especially on the Radiant side, is that even if you can't play the matchup this well, you can just burst down the wave with your raises, and then you don't have to deal with a bad matchup at all.
Well, there's not much against the Clinks, though.
There isn't. Then again...
Is this the cheese pick, Kips?
Is this the cheese pick? Well, I do know that Thompson's been practicing it. And that he is absolutely terrifying on this hero. But at the same time, this is a question of who kills each other's backline first, because these two cores are not going to... Vtune and Thompson are not going to try and fight each other. They're going to try and fight each other's backlines. So the question is, who gets to live? And the area control coming out of FTM is better. With the Phoenix ult, with the Mars. Of course, Always Wanna Fly is going to have a harder game this time. Being an early pick, there's both the Mirana as well as the Clinks with that attack speed on the field against him. But all the time that they spend hitting Always Wanna Fly, is time that they don't spend hitting Shadow Fiend, for example.
Exactly.
I still very much favor FlyToMoon's draft here.
I also like FTM's draft a lot here, despite OG getting Clinks as their last pick, which could be the thing they need. Fights might be, now that I look at these heroes on paper, could be very messy and very split, because there's a lot of heroes who enjoy going for these solo type of pickoffs, running after people, so much mobility in this game from both drafts, but I have to slightly edge over to FTM, and I feel like FlyToMoon could just pull it off here. They tied up the series. Can they take the W here in this game 3? It all comes down to one game. Or is OG going to come back from their loss in game 2?
A lot is going to depend on Saxa and his ability to hit arrows here, because this is one of those hard Mirana games where you don't have a setup stun. He's going to have to hit these arrows either on a teammate hitting a stun with a windup, or just completely on his own. Anticipation is the name of the game. Let's see if he knows where people are going to move, because before they themselves know where they're going.
Well, we have General and the Lohadan, so he's starting off in the top lane for FlyToMoon. Sumail will be playing a carry Leshrac. So I feel like in a sense where you would normally, like always people talk about pause 1, pause 2, pause 3. I feel like this is more of a game where Clinks could feel like the pause 1 of this game, and then you have the pause 2, which is Leshrac.
First arrow hit.
Stuns onto a Lohadance. OG take first blood here in the Radiant side of the jungle. Sumail will be credited with the kill.
So far, so good.
It was not
Sumail's
luck,
feeling
but
himself.
skill.
It was.
Bottom.
So normally you could see Mars having the easier time with the spear and the setup from the disruption, but Aloda's just not quite paying attention.
Mid one getting some nasty harass here from Always Wanna Fly. 5 tangos, however. And the double rune for FlyToMoon. They will have to forfeit the topside runes, make the bottom for themselves. Saksa hunting for some couriers. There's one heading towards the top lane with some tangos. Iceberg, well, he's just going straight for his bottle, so he needs to get a few last hits at the start. So at the same time, while, well, he already left the lane. But the thing is, if he would have stayed there waiting, because at the same time, Thompson wants to deny as much of these creeps as he can from the Shadow Fiend to prevent him from getting a lot of last hits. But as you see, he doesn't have Necromastery as his level 1, so he won't even have the souls for the right-click damage. So he just wants to get these raises to push up that bottle to be built up as fast as possible. Means that if your Mirana would be waiting in mid for such a long time until he got the money for the bottle, that's wasted time.
Yeah. So Sax is on the bot lane already. Vitune has prepped himself up with a double ring of protection, getting all of that armor in order to withstand the big hits coming out from mid one, who had 10 retaliate stacks up before this lane started. Already used them. Up to level 2 now. And yeah, as you can see, Sax is mostly using those arrows now to secure ranged creeps.
Some marksmanship coming in from here. Waiting in the trees, always want to fly right next to him. And there we go, ranged creep dead once again. Mid one. I think that's this lane to slightly push forward. Vitune trying to do the same to counter push it. Mid one is actually, yeah, he's getting a good time out of this lane thanks to Sox. Sox also getting a few last hits in between, so he can start getting closer to those boots.
This lane is going to get harder and harder for the dire that goes on. Oh, always want to fly, seems a courier. I can't risk it.
Oh, he's... Oof. You might have heard a salve sound, but you never saw it go off.
Yeah. I'm always sad to hear that. Very sad. And that's a courier dead now too.
Yep. Soxa's making the money work out for him here. Breaks the salve, kills a courier. Does what this Mirana is supposed to be doing here in this lane. Meanwhile, Aloha Dance trying to stack up No Tail. No Tail's just purging them away and just giving Aloha Dance a very hard time. Forced to go out, however. Just moving back onto the high ground. Sumail, what do you think about this safe lane, Lesh?
Enjoyed a lot if the support can get a lot of pulls off, just because Lesh still really wants his levels. And as you can see by the way that he played the Luna in the previous game, Sumail is not afraid to get active early at all. That's basically his stated goal for his time in OG. So I think safe lane Leshrac with that mindset can be very good. It's just that he's fragile, much like this Luna, and this time he has an Abaddon with him on the lane already. So he's pretty happy up against General here, but it's risky because I've seen this happen before where if the Mars gets a good start, he can start hunting the Leshrac in the jungle. And if you don't have a Yule Scepter, it is so hard to survive a Mars ultimate.
Thompson is bullying Iceberg as much as he can. Some throwing those searing arrows at him, forcing the SF to go out of lane.
Making him walk full on back.
Yeah, he's gonna go all the way.
Back when I was with Vegas Squadron, it was not actually always a good sign if you bullied Iceberg out, just because he tends to get extra resolve when you give him a hard lane. I've seen him have more bad games after ruling the lane than after getting really pressured in the lane. So I wonder if this is going to work out well at all.
Mid one, bit of trouble here in the bot lane. Always want to fly, getting all of the fire spirits to connect onto mid one. And is it gonna be enough? Right clicks coming in, has to dive, and that should be it. Yep. Oh! Soxa's arrow ruins the fun for always wanna fly. I cannot believe these guys actually timed it out that well.
Always Wanna Fly also walked straight into that. He definitely had his blinders on.
Yep. Well, Iceberg gets a kill on Thompson in mid, very low HP.
What was I
gives the
saying?
bottle. You are exactly on top of the point. Like, I feel like he's just getting more resolve from this, just being much stronger, getting more fortitude mentally.
Aloha Dance is... well, he might not be dead. Sumail would rather have the rune, but... A solo support against the Lashrak almost never ends well.
Yeah.
He's been leveling the Diabolic Edict as well. Sumail is gonna run at your towers as soon as he can. Let's see if OG... I don't think they're ready to rotate on this catapult wave yet. Thompson is... No, he's not 6 yet. So...
He's a bit behind in
FTM probably
XP.
gets a bit of respite here. But Saxa is preparing for it, throwing down his ward here on the bottom lane. Unfortunately, he got spotted, because Always Wanna Fly had his ward down first.
You're already pinging his location. That Sux is coming for a rotation towards mid. Uses his arrow to kill a quick centaur creep. Keep up that GPM up and running.
Very likely that he'll want to take down the Radiant Catapult here on the mid tower, at the very least.
Well, it's going to be a very lucky arrow if he's going to land it on Iceberg, so I feel like the Mirana is just rotating back and forth. Like, they're just denying these runes from SF, because Iceberg does have an empty bottle once again. So that's a regen rune denied. The catapult will be killed off by the arrow. So 2 hits from this Cardi to the tower.
Always Wanna Fly denies the ward as well as gets few of Thompson's rotation. This is the level 6 and they know he's in the vicinity. Feature not 6 quite yet though, so he's really gotta be careful here.
Yep, he's sitting under the tower. He's going to let the Phoenix scout first, but also requires that Always Wanna Fly dives out. Thompson knows the scenario. Thompson's still sitting under a ward. Maybe even trying to force some moves here because they're going on mid one. Time and time again. Just keeps harassing the Centaur as much as they can. You know, they can't drive him out of lane, even though he doesn't have any HP regen items at the moment. He's sitting on 900 gold. He's actually going straight up for a Blink Dagger. You think this is the smart choice for Centaur? Just skipping anything in between? I mean, he does have boots and he does have a wand.
Almost never like it. But I guess it's because the rest of his lineup doesn't have any inherent mobility and OG wants to be able to dive.
Mars in trouble.
Mars will
Going on general.
have to
He misses the
something else,
spear. They're going to go at him and he will get the kill. Sumail will be credited for that one. Miltil helping him out. A bot lane, mid one, very low HP, does have Stampede. Couldn't find the opening to go on the Phoenix. Now Sox is here. One good arrow could do the trick. There we have it. The arrow will connect and Phoenix will fall.
And bonus courier.
Oh, yes. Right on the money.
So you can already see OG's game plan come in here. This is such a classic as well. You get a kill on the top lane, then you smoke your carry to the bot lane and try to go for the tower trade. Sumail's ready for this, and he's got the Boots of Travel queued up, so they're looking to skirmish. Sumail's going to be pushing out waves so that there's enough dark space on the map for mid one.
If they can catch this Lycan, it's going to be huge. He does get his ulti popped off, and the arrow will connect, and that is your Lycan dead by V-Tune. Goodbye. So even though he had really quick fingers with the shapeshift, as soon as that Stampede went off, he instantly had his finger on top of the ulti, pops it. But the stun from Sumail was enough that the arrow just snuck through all the creeps, landed on him, made sure that he died.
Once again, OG with the first tower tempo of the game, and we've seen this play out before. We've seen that after they get this tower, they'll move in for mid. And no doubt that FlyToMoon is going to be ready for it. Aloha Dance has been sitting behind Iceberg for what feels like the entire match already.
What do you think about the scenario right now? I mean, we're already closed up the laning phase like a while ago. We see some active rotations coming in. If OG does the same thing in game 2, if they can punish like 2 early towers, what do they need to do after that? Do they just keep on snowballing with this pusher lineup with Lesh and Klinks capable of pushing the towers down? Do they want to go for a split push? Do you want to look for team fights? Or do you just go with what FTM does?
Because as you end up pushing the map, you get into more and more of these choke point situations, and that's where FlyToMoon definitely have the advantage. So you're going to want to use these Boots of Travel on Lash in order to split up the
Mars
map.
ulti, mid one, should be dead.
Yes, mid one looks like he was overextended just a little bit there.
But at the same time, Lesh TP's mid. They have a sneaky Saksa right behind him. He's landed some very good arrows. Here comes the Mirana ulti. No tail, should be scouted out. Always want to flip pops the dust. They know that they've been seen. They're coming in force. But they might just rotate all the way back to mid. Iceberg is now sitting in the river. Thompson really quick with this. Sumail is also very fast. 523 movement speed. You cannot run away from this disco pony. And Iceberg will go down. The arrow's not even needed for this kill.
they really got distracted there by what Always Wanna Fly was doing in the jungle when the jungle was never their target. They wanted to get that ward down, make sure that there's no more vision for FlyToMoon on that
Oh, and now
approach
low
from the
dance.
side.
One hit from Thompson should do it. There we go.
Oh.
Snuck up behind the SD, got a few hits in, and that one final right click to do the job. Seal the deal. Now they're pushing onto mid. Have they actually taken down that bot tower? They have, so now they're focusing onto the mid tower. Thompson dishing out hits onto Always Wanna Fly. He will live through this. Glyph, there's a TP coming in as well. It's going to be General. They've also got the SF coming in. They're all OG heroes stacked up. He needs 10 more seconds with the Arena of Blood to come of cooldown, but he won't have the time for it. They do get the disruption up. There's an egg already popped in the back lines, and OG in trouble. They've got Thompson in the firing line. He will fall. Mid one being chased down. V2 comes onto the Arena of Blood, catches two. No-Tail is also inside it, and they will take a third kill. And FTM just in time. It looked like they cannot take this initiation right away, but they had two heroes stunned because of the egg, and it just worked out perfectly for them.
FlyToMoon really want to get this tower in return now, otherwise that fight was still not worth it. OG will happily take the space, and yeah, there we go. Distance has been gained on the map, and Iceberg, I was curious if he was going to do this. After all, Iceberg is definitely a pup. Shadowblade first. You gotta love it.
The classic SF. Sumail has to be a bit careful here. He's got a low dance and Always Wanna Fly. I mean, technically Sumail could just take this fight on by himself, as he will. Let's get banished up. Soxa mid one, smoked up. Soxa finds Always Wanna Fly, so that's your Phoenix down. Mid one, catching the SD and a lower dance. Can he TP out? It's gonna be a close one. He makes it just in time. At the same time, V2 pushing in the top tower, realizing that all this movement is happening in the bottom area. Got time to hit the tower, but he will be forced back with Sumail TPing in. He's a bit afraid to commit more. Soxa in the jungle, however. Iceberg coming in from the low ground. V2 following up. Soxa backs out. More TPs coming in. OG is the time
General's
for them to
got his
back
arena
out.
again.
He does, and mid one also has a blink on the Centaur. They want to fight this. They really want to fight this. Never mind the result. Mid one looking for his blink opportunity. Here comes the Moonlight Shadow. Always Want to Fly. Might be the bait. He is tanky for Phoenix. Mid one pops down the sentry, destroys it. No fight breaking loose though. They're still just holding on which team ever makes the first move. Because Mars can always reinitiate, and even if FTM would go in, they would have, well, they don't actually have the Stampede on cooldown. Off cooldown. Well, it is what it is. And Thompson backing away as well as Iceberg and Lohadas come closer. They're still sitting in this jungle though. Trying to keep up the pressure.
Yep, and that's still giving Sumail all of the space that he wants up top. He gets himself a tier 1 completely for free. And you know, the team with the Lycan would like to do that, but the team with the Lycan does not have a boots of travel.
There you go. Stun on Phoenix. Baiting him out. This is the warding wars right now. The same glyph has been contested for so many times. Here's the egg. The arena's there as well. General gets arrowed up by Soxa. The stun catching No-Tail, but No-Tail can be sacrificed for this. But OG's like, we're not sacrificing any comrades here. Sumail will go down to Iceberg in the top lane. They had the Lycan there as well with the shapeshift used. And OG, can they find any response kills? Can they find a trade here in the bottom lane? Everyone from FTM are just disengaging and trying to get out. Thompson following on Alohadance's heels. Gets a few hits in. Now comes V2. A lot of damage. Iceberg with the ultimate blows down OG. 4 heroes gone. Thompson's TP cancelled as well. FlyToMoon are definitely beating OG in the astronaut race right now. That is OG gone.
Annihilated. I was watching that kill on top. Iceberg just stalking down Sumail, hitting him with the Shadowblade, and Sumail realized that he was in big trouble. And then, yeah, there's no burst damage on the rest of this lineup. There's that bottom fight, it's pressure, but you're not making space anymore because your Lash already got run down. You can't chase there anymore. And a really big punish from FlyToMoon.
But the moves here from FlyToMoon, they definitely got what they wanted out of that team fight. OG really heavily punished. They lose their net worth lead at the same. And Leshrak's 7,600 net worth now caught up with the 7,500 from the SF. Big ultimate from Iceberg with the Shadow Blade, and now going for more. Mid one, revealed in the mid lane, going for it. There's that TP coming in from Leshrac. They cannot cancel this one, and always want to fly. Heavy nuke damage coming in from Sumail. Makes it work out. 1 second for the blink from mid one. He misses the stun on General. He just walks left when mid one went right. Iceberg still holding up right behind them. Do they have any detection on him though? He could get a big one. There we have the Arena Block connecting off the two. No-Tail and Sumail are all so low. Sumail will already go down. And No-Tail still surviving. Thompson getting hits by double raises, triple raises. Mid one gets another stun. No-Tail's already gone. Mid one trying to make a run for it. Saxa's also disengaging from this Aloha dance. Oh, he's so close to cancelling the TP. V-Tune is still chasing onto Thompson, and he's got the Necro books, he's got the vision, and he might just find himself a kill. Thompson pops his ultimate, trying to buy some time for himself and get a bit of extra damage onto V-Tune, but where's the backup? There's no backup for Thompson, and V-Tune takes this for free.
That shapeshift lasts so long. There's no way he's still in the skeleton army as it runs out. And once again, OG, this is kind of why I don't like that blink on the center. I can see where they're coming from, but you have no aura presence right now, and you're trying to 5-man early anyway.
FlyToMoon looking for more. They're approaching the top lane. The spear not going to connect onto Saxa or Sumail. Arrow almost hitting V-Tune, but always want to fly is also there. There's 3 FlyToMoon heroes around here. OG, they're smoked up. Mid one and No-Tail coming in from the right side. Iceberg and V-Tune holding the high ground. And FTN, they need to get that Shadow Demon into this fight, as it's going to pop right now. The call should come that help us out. We are going to fight right now. Mars, 13 seconds for the ultimate. The stun lock is there. The nuke is there. They will take down General, so OG get the first kill, and SD still in the bottom lane. He doesn't want to take part in this fight at all. I think it's because
this is the way that OG are going to win.
No shapeshift, so means no team fight.
Yes, and definitely no arena. It's that AoE control that really hinders them.
They find V-Tune. They locate where he is. And then there's a stun coming in from the center. The buyback coming in from the Mars as well. Mars could get a huge ultimate. Once again, he's got 4 heroes in it. Saxa does manage to get out. There's also the Phoenix ulti in the background. And they will manage to take down V-Tune. OG find themselves another kill. General, they also got mid one. He's so low. And he's still ticking low, and he will go down. No-Tail is also falling. Saxa's down. No-Tail's courier will be killed as well. And OG end up licking their wounds. Thompson was not there. There's no way he would have got back into that. And OG sacrificed 4 heroes for V-Tune.
And V-Tune only died because Saxa hit another arrow on him. That was way too close for comfort, and even then, not worth it. Not worth it at all.
They're not getting the power spike from this Lesh's damage output as they were hoping it to give. Damage is lacking.
Neither do damage from Thompson. Well, the problem is that you can't really focus down someone when you're getting bounced around in this Mars ult that's restricting you. Plus, if your burst is not heavy enough, this Sunray is going to lengthen the fight so much. And the burst is definitely there on the side of FTM. They can make sure that you're fighting 3v5 in a moment's notice. With Iceberg's nukes, with the bonk from the Mars. It's, by the way, it's official. It's not God's rebuke, it's bonk.
It's bonk.
Everyone who does not call it bonk is exiled.
Well, let's see what's going to happen here in the bot lane. Thompson sitting in with Invis right next to V-Tune. Iceberg farming in the jungle. He's got 2 more FlyToMoon heroes around him. General, the bait in mid. Mid one is there once again. No-Tail right next to him. The bubble will be thrown in. Always want to fly. Looking for the dive. Goes for the Sunray first. Taking down the Centaur. The Stampede's not enough. OG decides to do. They just want to go in. They're not going to allow General to do anything but they want, but the damage is coming in. Iceberg. This man. V-Tune as well. They just do so much damage onto OG. And FlyToMoon are punishing OG at this point. They're just winning these fights time after time again. And now, oh, Saxa, no. He's got 2 more leap charges. And Iceberg, he needs to read them correctly here. And there we have always want to fly. And there you go. On the cliff. Can he TP out? No, you cannot.
Iceberg says no, sir.
No,
and
sir.
And that's a free Roshan for V-Tune. He's already in the pit. He didn't care about that last kill whatsoever.
This is the snowball from FlyToMoon. They're making this early game work out so well for them. Going to Roshan before the 20-minute mark, meaning that they can also pick up the bounties. They will deny the outposts as well. So no XP for OG either. This is a huge deficit.
It is, yes. A lot of these OG heroes like Sumail are
Thompson.
hunting for the level 15.
another one for Iceberg. 10, 1, and 5 on this Shadow Fiend. I can already hear FlyToMoon that they're having fun.
Oh yeah, definitely. And Thompson is like, ha, you kill me in lane?
Yeah, Thompson
You
doesn't
think
really
that
care.
does anything to me? Oh no.
He'll just keep coming back at you. But yeah, like you already
He has
talked
some
about.
spider senses, man.
Exactly, like you said in the laning
Actually,
phase.
no, there's a sentry. There is a sentry. No, they spotted mid one with this Infus rune. I want to see if they can grab him here.
But like you said already in the laning phase, that if Iceberg getting bullied in lane early on, he just sucks in all that energy and turns it into performance. And with these 10 kills that he's picked up so far, 12,000 net worth, 21 minutes in. This SF is huge. Shadowblade,
He's got a full BKB
BKB as well. Yeah, and the Aegis that he's holding on to for the next 4 minutes.
I mean, he also has a cool 2k in the bank. He can buy that Crystallis anytime he wants. He just feels like having buybacks more important right now, and I can see that because OG plays up so much, even when other teams would definitely not do it. OG will still be on your towers, and that means that your buybacks are more worth than they would normally be. Sometimes OG goes so fast that you just trip right up.
Yep, you cannot follow up. And Saksa will be found. Aloha dances there. Saksa taking a heavy amount of damage here. No way you can teleport out of this. Always Wanna Fly gets credited with the kill. And it's 24-12 for FlyToMoon. Take a quick look at the graphs as well. As you see, there's almost a 5k net worth lead and almost 20,000 in XP going in favor of FlyToMoon.
That is really the rough one. Iceberg is going to hit his level 20 talent soon. And
Spicy.
none of OG's zeros are even close.
Yep, OG moving around at the bottom area. They're trying to force creeps onto the high ground. Hobson wants to do the split pushing game now. But then again, they have the whole team is pretty much sitting behind them. There's Saksa and Sumail sitting in the top lane. You can't really contest the defense of this tier 2 tower, even though they did recently buff the tier 2 towers. Still not a worthy target to fight around, especially if you don't have your entire team there. Etune, General. One good spear could do the trick. We'll use the bonk, but it won't connect. Up lane, Saksa. Oh, it was a trap all along. They just got initiated on right away as they turned in. Saksa, very low here. Always Wanna Fly. Pops the egg at the back line. The tower is tanking the hits, doing 0 damage to it. OG, wait for the egg to explode. Sumail actually caught by the stun. General sneaking up from behind. Gets the ulti onto 2. Sumail is the primary target here. Mid one is also dropping low. Sumail will go down. They'll take the tower. They'll take mid one as well. And FTM are on the push. Saksa TPing back home. And now comes Thompson. But you are too late for the party. Or is he? He wants to make the big plays happen. The General is just tanking all of this. And Thompson is evaporated. OG are in big trouble. Iceberg leading the charge.
That's the kind of mistake you almost never see OG make, because that's a tilt play. He's doing that on his own. Normally when they go in, they always have another plan to fall back on, another plan to fall back on, but instead he goes in solo, it's just before the high ground. And
No.
yeah, no tail.
He feels the hurt. He feels the hurt from Iceberg. These melee racks are a piece of cake for them. FlyToMoon will take the top racks, and that's the first racks of the game down at 23 minutes. And FlyToMoon, 10,000 gold ahead.
I would like to point out that Iceberg also hasn't popped that BKB a single time yet.
Nope, no need. And he finds mid one. All by himself, in front of the enemy base. How much respect are you gonna give Iceberg at this point? Like I mean, they didn't even see him there, but they're just giving him so much right now.
He
No
has an
tail, almost
Aegis.
getting 3-shot. Thompson can't fight this, and there's still an Aegis to worry about. It cannot kill Iceberg. Iceberg kills you.
And he finishes off his Daedalus. He's in Shadowblade again, so he's actually hiding this one for now. Well,
Well, No Tail is gone. General gets a kill. The tier 3 in the mid lane in trouble. The arrow will not connect from Soxa. 20 seconds for the Abaddon to be up alive, and FTM are really giving OG the fight for the life
Look
here
at
right
those
now.
crits.
Thompson is so much damage not taken from him, but he will still stay alive. The range racks will fall. The melee racks are in trouble as well. Sumail has a fresh BKB. Can they find an opening? Alohadan doesn't get stunned up. The Necro unit will tank the arrow. Sumail is just getting body blocked by his teammates, and he will get critted to death. Iceberg gets the kill. He will pop his BKB for the first time. The Aegis will also run out just in time. Now Medwin going for the stun, trying to look for the marks in general. He will get stunned in place, but he will just tank it all, and Thompson will go down. There comes the arena, but he catch nothing with it. But they're still running away from the V2, fighting all the way to the fountain, trying to look for Soxa, and they will kill him off. And now they cannot take down mid one, but they will happily take 3 from OG, plus the Rex, and they're looking for the GG. They're just putting iron branches on the ground, saying that we have this game. We're going to take it from you. We lost in game 1. We won you in the second, and now we will evaporate. We will demolish you in game 3. OG in trouble. Can they still do a last hurrah? 13 seconds for the Leshrac to be alive. 18 seconds for Thompson and the Clinks. No-Tail's ulti already popped. The last tier 4 towers down. They're going on to the Ancient, and no GG has been called yet. They're still going at it. They're hitting, and they're trying to make the damage pull out. Soxa gets the arrow into Mars. No-Tail will be destroyed. SF has been held in place, but the Ancient will go down, and FlyToMoon will take the victory in this series 2-1.
And in what fashion? That was stunningly executed, honestly. They know exactly what OG's game plan is. They read them like an open book, and with the power of this Lycan and just super focused gameplay from Iceberg, I was doubting that Shadowblade. I was calling it a pub item. I did not expect him to just such disarray in OG's ranks. It was beautifully done. I'm very, very impressed with how they played out this game.
They really pulled themselves together, and Iceberg 16-1 on the Shadow Fiend. Absolutely fantastic performance, but then again, he was helped out so much by General playing on Mars. Getting these at least 2 hero Arena of Bloods the whole time, getting the opening out, and at the same time, Iceberg coming in from the back. Huge ultis, massive raise damage. Everyone just felt like they were clumped up, like the OG players were so close to each other. They were soaking up right click damage. They were soaking up raise damage. They were getting hit by the shields and the spears from the ultimate from Mars. Phoenix ulti ticking and ticking and ticking. There's so much things to worry about, and they're all happening at the same time. So I felt like OG did not have the initiative here, and FlyToMoon played it out. And as you said, in what fashion? In absolute great fashion that you could just go watch Victoria's Secret right now. FlyToMoon presenting you the series here. OG will lose their first series, but we have more to see them in the coming week in ESL 1 Birmingham. This series is now finished. We have another one coming up right behind the corner. It's going to be Alliance versus Cyber Legacy, so don't disappear anywhere. It's T-Panda and Kips giving you the cast for this. Stay tuned for more right after this one, after a commercial break.